and welcome to Teacher Talk. I'm Steph.
I'm Sean, and our heart is to increase your connection to the Word made flesh.
Inspire a kingdom approach to your study of the Bible.
And we want to equip you with resources today that empower your journey tomorrow. So we're back with chapter 15 in 30 days to understanding your Bible. Hi, Steph.
Hey.
Hey. So we're going to jump in, friends, with a subject that I think doesn't get a lot of street cred.
No?
Geography.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody goes to like a friend's house or like a party and be like, "Hey, can we discuss geography for a little while?" Unless you maybe like a geographer, like unless you're, or maybe a social studies teacher. Maybe if you're Sharon Says.
Oh,
Sharon
yeah,
McMahon,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. She loves sharing about weird little geography things.
Yes. So in any case, friends, we're going to talk just for a second. So if you are in chapter 15, that's the chapter you're going through today in your 30-day journey. And you'll see a lot of information here with regards to just some of the different geographic regions in the Promised Land and around that. But I don't want to emphasize that for the moment because that's super clear in the book. I want to talk just for a second about spiritual geography.
All right, let's do it.
So one of the things that you'll discover as you kind of dig into various aspects of the Bible is not all lands are created equal. And I don't mean that to be like the people aren't equal or don't treat everyone with respect.
No, definitely not.
But you actually find as you go throughout, and you can actually find the trigger points for this in names. As people are named things or as regions are named things. Really generic example in the Old Testament, Achan. I don't know why you would name a child Achan when it means troubler, or gonna get us into trouble.
That seems like poor planning.
Or Acor or anything. I mean, yes, it seems like bad planning. But this is what they did. They knew that names had specific significance back then. And so we take a look at something like in the book of Acts, the Apostle Paul, on his missionary journeys, he went to two cities back to back. He went from one to another, and he had completely different responses to the gospel, depending on what city he was in. And if you don't know the background in those areas and what's going on there, then you might be like, why were there such different reactions? But here's one puzzle pieces to that. So let's take the city of Thessalonica. Mm-hmm. So we know, Paul writes a couple letters to the church of Thessalonica, to the Thessalonians. But what's interesting is the word Thessalonica means the victory of falsity.
Wow.
Or the victory of falsehood.
Yeah.
And he has one of his sharpest, hardest, harshest reactions to the gospel in that particular city, so much so they kick him out.
Yeah.
So now he's walking down the road and he lands in a place called Berea. Now in Berea, they're more open to his approach, so much so that a bunch of the leaders there say, "Hey, we're going to hear you about this again. Let us go check the scriptures and see what's going on. Let's see if these things are true." And Berea means well-watered garden.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. This is in the same way that geographers get really excited about geography, I get excited about theology and doctrine. Because it says in Psalms 1 that the person who studies the law of the Lord, who meditates in it day and night, they're like a tree that is planted by streams of living water.
Yeah.
So you have people who are they're in the scriptures all the time. They're just poring over them. They're meditating on them so that when Paul comes with the gospel, they're like, all right, this could be.
Yeah.
Let's go check this out.
Right. Got a reference.
And we'll hear more from you about this.
Yeah.
And so I just bring that up to say, don't just study the natural geography of the New Testament. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But dig in a little bit. Find out what are the meanings behind some of those names of places, even names of individuals, and see if that gives you some insight as to what's even spiritually happening in that area. Because we always got to remember, and we'll get into this in one of our future days, always got to remember three heavens. There's the natural world that we live in. There's the second heaven where demonic and angelic warfare is always happening. And then the third heaven, which is the realm of God's reign and Jesus' rule. That's where we always want to see from. But those elements are those realms are always in motion. Always something's happening.
Yeah.
And this is where some of that shows up. So, Steph, what was something that's jumping out to you in this?
Yeah, I mean, this section is just a great little overview of kind of what we're expecting to dig into here. So yeah, talking about our geography.
Yeah.
And then Max breaks the historical section of the New Testament down into three main eras. Yeah. So we have the gospel, which he describes as the life of Jesus. The next era is the church, or the formation of the Christian church, as we know it a little more familiarly now.
Right.
And then missions and the expansion that we see with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I would just want to throw in there, I would delineate it in our minds between kind of the incarnate Jesus, like when he was walking the earth, and then the time when he was just Jesus, but in represented form. Because now that's right. Who we are.
Yeah. Is
the represented form of Jesus in the earth. So, if that helps you to just kind of delineate those things, have at it. Because I don't like the term missions, because sometimes we think, oh, okay, so on this side of the church, that's for the missionaries. So they're the people who do the things, right?
Yeah.
And we're all supposed to do the things.
Right. Because we all have him inside of us.
Cool. So, friends, I think that's it for today. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in the post below. In the meantime, may you delight in his face as you delight in his word.
See you next time.
See you.